Episode 221. The sun is high in the sky, which means Komoy is back on the clock. Back on the clock to fighting primals, this time Alexander, the biggest one she's ever faced, so far. Although I guess Bahamut might have been bigger, it's hard to tell based on how distant we were from Bahamut. It's already almost 4 p.m. Eorzean time. Kind of took that break longer than I meant to. Sun's gonna be down soon, so let's try to get some cutscenes while the sun is still at least setting. I guess most of the cutscenes are going to be inside of Alexander itself. Oh no. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Turns out it's raining over here. In fact, I think it just started raining. Eorzean weather changes at 12, 8, and yeah, it would be 4 o'clock. Well, I guess this also works for a cutscene, depending on the mood. We'll just hope that we get inside Alexander quickly. Both for the cutscenes and for the actual duty queue. This time we're going inside what I guess is the shoulder? We got ourselves a problem, Komoy, but don't worry. The Chief has a plan. Speaking of whom, Chief, over here. All present and correct, I see. Good. Something has been nagging at me for a while, Komoy, and I finally realized what it is. It concerns the communications wedge intercepted. So, we know that the Illuminati have managed to establish a base inside the Colossus, meaning they must have also found a way to pierce the magic barrier. Assuming that's the case, what need have they to use the only hatch, which the barrier doesn't protect? And why go to the trouble of sending coded messages on how to unlock it? The answer? Spies. I believe the Illuminati have an agent outside the Colossus, most like in Idleshire itself, who is using the hatch as a back door. Now this agent will know we've broken their code, and that the hatch is constantly watched, so he won't have been able to use it for some time. As such, he'll doubtless be desperate to re-establish contact with the inside. And that's why I've cleared the area around the giant's hand. All we need to do now is wait and watch. Watch and wait. Same thing. And follow whoever makes a dash for the hatch. Chief, link protocol from Redbricks. He says Brave Fox went inside. What? She can't be. No, it must be an impersonator. Chief, whomever you met earlier was a spy. Quick, you've got to get after her. I guess it must be pretty easy to impersonate a goblin. What with always wearing the mask and all that. Do their voices sound different? Oh, and we're just getting right into it. I guess we're chasing down the thief or whatever. Or the spy. Mida and the Chief are already inside Alexander. Rally your band and get after them. Yeah, rally our band. Let's see about that. 7-minute wait time, huh? We'll see. Maybe it'll stop raining by then. Not that it matters. And also not that it matters, but I guess I can just sit down right here and wait for that band of adventurers to arrive, as they usually do. Keep your umbrella out. Oh, there goes our spy. More importantly, my portrait is fixed. Actually got a bunch of good portraits this time, only one character at a default there. Show me that again. A lot of good ones, yeah. I like that one with the machinist, the pose. Didn't know that was a head you could have. How do you get that? It's really good. What is that? You're the machinist. So I'm going to not do damage right now. I need to see what this is. Replica of Behemoth's helm, I could have guessed. So this one has a few trash mobs you have to get through before getting to the boss. I do like that you have to kind of go up and down these stairs, even if it's kind of weird how you go up and down them. But now we're already at the boss. It's water. The boss is water. Yep, just as Henri Arcelin said, water. This one has some fairly interesting mechanics. We'll see if any of them hit us. Well, there's one. Bunch of conal things. And sleuths. Everyone just wants to keep that away from the center. It'd be nice if they all did that. Oh wait, does that not drop the pools of water? I guess that's something else. And now the boss goes away for a while to summon a hand. It can be whatever it wants, it's liquid. Very important for the tank to face that away. I actually don't know what was pushing us just now. Didn't quite catch it myself. Luckily we didn't get pushed into the electricity stuff. And now the boss is two hands. One of the off tanks needs to grab the other one so that they're not stacking all of those resistances down on one tank. It seems like they're doing exactly that though. It's up to 6 now, the tank might be in trouble. Yep, that's 8. And 8 might be as high as it goes. And now the boss goes into this again? I thought it was done with this. Should I get near? Does it push? It didn't. Oh, here are the pools of water. But I don't want to stand in front near the tank. Alright, so this mechanic is on us. We need to get far away from this guy so the magnet doesn't pull us too close together. Damn, we got hit. I tried to run, I really did. Maybe I ran in the wrong direction. Well, it doesn't matter. The boss is dead. Oh, this time we have to get close together. Push in opposite directions. Sorry, I pushed that guy into the pool. I guess I got greedy. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be another phase where it becomes a giant orb of water. Did we skip that phase? I think we might have. Seems like everyone left, so all the loot at the end just got dumped into my inventory. These raids are kind of annoying because all the loot that you get at the end is kind of worthless, and there's a lot of it, so you just have to clean up a lot. All these bits and bobs. Ishkar, Gabi found it? Good. Knowings of missing piece are with Illuminati. Ruthless. Gabi did well indeed. This is how you treat those who please you? Pishkar, now is realm in chaos, broken, machine with too many parts. But Illuminati plan needs one thing, missing piece to bring world order, give world harmony, make world perfect. And what of those who don't fit into your vision of perfection? How many must die to pay for your utopia? Don't you see? You summoned a god-stamped primal. It will devour the ether of every land you visit, until Heidelin and everything on it is dead. Inside Fortress of Illuminati, Chosen will live on. If inferior on outside die for progress, so be it. This is cost of seeking for knowings. Hells take you, and your damn seeking. Wise uplanders find happiness in Illuminati rule. Unwise uplanders, utopia does not need. So it's obey or die then? Pah, the whole concept is grotesque. No, Sid. Like the rest of the ideas set out in the Enigma Codex, Alexander is wonderful in itself, perfect even. But in the rush to realize its ideals, even the best of us can be led astray. Oh, so once upon a time these Illuminati were starry-eyed philanthropists, is that it? And it was only after they got their hands on your perfect bloody codex that they turned into vicious killers. Tell me, was there any passage in particular that convinced them to abandon their last shred of empathy? I cannot speak for the precise contents of the codex. Not anymore. But I haven't forgotten everything I read. I think I can stop the core, if you can get me close enough. You think you can, or you know you can? And what of its location? It's somewhere in the trunk. How close we are to that, I can't say. Fishcrawl. Round rocks can say. 2 pieces of round rocks are 1 yawn. So, by count of round rocks, chest of Whirlycog Giant is only a little further. Ah, clever girl. You've been measuring how far we've come from the start. That's impressive dead reckoning. Alright, I propose we withdraw for the time being. I don't know what will happen when we reach the core, but I do know that we'll be better equipped to deal with it, if we're well rested and ready for anything. No, but we just had a rest. All should be well enough. And it's still raining. Not that it matters. Even if it weren't raining, it would still be nighttime. Mita says she can dismantle the core, but we'll be on hand too, just in case she needs an extra sledgehammer-like. Just you be careful, Komoi. There's no telling what mechanical horrors are protecting the core. Does Backrix actually say anything? I haven't been checking. Fishcaw, Backrix is keeper of knowings and data. What does Uplander wish to learn? Nah, I think we're fine. I think that's just a record of like the story events in case you forget in between patch quests or something. Fishcaw, if Uplander comes back safe from core unmaking, Yondrox will give 1 piece of secret treasure. Make it 2. We don't even know if it's junk or not. Maybe you just want less, so it's taking up less inventory space. Like these. No one should have the power to choose who lives and who dies. The idea is too vile, too insidious to be left unchallenged. We have to act. If we don't, Alexander will awaken, and the Illuminati will be unstoppable. Make no mistake, Komoi. It's now or never. And the pulsing heart, going right into the center of it. I think I have the knowledge required to shut down the giant's core, but if I'm to reach it, I'll need you to lend me your strengths. Well, really, the Illuminati's latest message is, well, let's just say it's unsuitable for polite company. I should be much obliged if you teach those privy-mouthed savages some manners, Komoi. Alright. Start that up. Let's get some dialogue. How exactly will I stop the giant? Let me worry about that. All you have to do is get me to the core. Fishcaw, if Uplander comes back safe from core breaking, etc., etc. Is this the same? Yeah, I think so. Did he say that again? I guess I can check. Yeah, they said all that. Although, no, what Big said was new. Not that it really matters, but, might as well. Don't worry about us, Komoi. You just concentrate on getting Mide to the core in one piece. Which and I will bring up the rear when the coast is clear. There, I did it. And once again, let's fly over to overlook Alexander as we wait for the duty roulette, duty queue, whatever, to recruit some members. Yep, any moment now. It actually looks pretty intimidating in the rain. And here's our final battle for this tier of the raid. Fighting a castle within the castle. Oh, I guess we got 4 Lalafels. I think the tanks need to take those. Was that tank taking it? I'm not sure it was. Well, it doesn't seem like the boss has any buffs, so it seems fine. I think I'll actually hang on to... Oh, there we go. Oh dear. Don't stand near that, please. Not sure how that happened. I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings. I guess we need to just focus on one leg, because it doesn't save the damage it did previously. Can I give this to someone else? Well, I guess it's fine. Oh, I'm being targeted by a lot. I just gave them to someone else, I guess. Seems like it worked out. Now we've got something going on. How does this work again? Mortal Revolution. I'm pretty sure there was a point in this raid. Oh, we'll see. Guess I'll take that. Why not? I'll leave it to someone else to limit break. No, I could have sworn there was another point in this raid where we did something else. Like, I thought there was a whole other room we went into. And then we pose like badasses, not facing the explosion. How fun. Oh, everyone just left. Even though we still see them in the cutscene. That just means nobody gets my player commendation. So was there actually like a different room here? I guess not. Must be thinking of some other raid. The Gordian Knot. Feels like we're entering another battle, but we're not. From this point forward, it's only 4 battles per tier. Sometimes Bahamut had 5 in a tier, sometimes 4. From now on, it's only 4 per tier. But we're here, and none the worse for wear, so if you need another pair of hands, just say the word. So, this is the heart of the machine, eh? I knew I should have brought a bigger hammer. Not that I'll be needing it, of course. Isn't that right, Mide? Cool jump. Oh, look! There he is, with his cat again. What's up with that cat? Who knows? Fishcaw. Greater are knowings in brain cases of unwise than quick thinks believed. Perhaps quick thinks judge too quickly. Perhaps Illuminati should study uplanders. It is before eyes of Gobby? Good. Do not fail. Illuminati have no use for failing Gobbies. Pishkar, end of Gobby's long wanderings is close. Something isn't right. Something isn't right at all. The way Quickthink spoke, you'd think he had won. He didn't seem too bothered, that's for sure. Do you think he might have planned for us stopping Alexander's core? What was it the chief said again? About the Illuminati finding what they needed to complete their plan. Something along the lines of a missing piece, I thought. And what if Quickthink is... The apostrophe S there after thinks. Kind of threw me for a loop. And what if Quickthink is honor guard? The two dolts who were ever at his side, why aren't they here? The Illuminati must surely have known we were coming. What could be more important than protecting their leader? You don't think he sent them to Idleshire, do you? While our backs were turned like? That would be... Come on. Oh, and I guess we just get to hang out here. This is sort of like what it was in the Bahamut raids, just a place for you and your team to hang out after you cleared the raid. Like, I guess a lot of G-posing went on here the first week the raid came out. Not really much going on here to G-pose around, not like the Bahamut raids where you could just pose in front of a giant dragon or something. But I mean, I guess it's something. I don't think later raids have rooms like this. Oh, right here. Quickthings would not give up so easily. We've got to get back to Idleshire. And actually, it stopped raining while I was waiting for the duty queue to pop. Now it's raining as soon as I get back out. Unbelievable. What do we do? What happened? Did the lookout see anything? Pishkar, giant loses power, uplanders succeed. Never mind that man. Did the Illuminati come? Is Idleshire safe? Pishkar, how does Uplander know? Yes, many Illuminati come to take stuffs of Gobbyfuck. Great was chaos. But suddenly, Illuminati go, and take only junk not worth jingly shine. They came barging in, ready to start a war, and then scarpered with a handful of bleeding junk? Hold on a minute. Where were they last seen? Pishkar, red brick stinks, near the shortstop. Roundrocks, come on. I'll go and find the chief. He'll know what to do. More trash. Ishkar, Uplanders are gone too long for comfort of red bricks. Shortstop is place of clashings with Illuminati. Illuminati are up to no good. Maybe using confusion to do foul things. Uplander must go and see. Make sure all is well. Okay. We were planning to anyway. Pishkar, Uplander must find Mide. Make sure all is well. Seems fine, but all of her stuff is gone. Ishkar, treasures of Round Rocks are... Is everything still as we found it? They haven't come back, have they? No, they're gone for now, and everyone seems to be fine, physically at least. But Round Rocks... Ishkar, gone, all gone. Poor thing. The Illuminati took everything. I'm just glad she was off collecting trinkets with Backricks when they came. I daren't think what might have happened had she been here. Come, little one, dry your tears. It's hard to do that in the rain. One thief unconscious. We found him lurking near the edge of town, not far from your treasures, Round Rocks. Pishkar, Uplander brings treasures home. Thanks to Uplander. Many, many thanks. Those books might get wet in the rain. I guess it's fine though. It was all Biggs, little one. He had a feeling a few soldiers might be lurking around, waiting to ambush us. And this is what we stumbled onto when we went to look. But why did the Illuminati take Round Rocks' collection in the first place? Surely that can't have been their goal. I wouldn't be so sure. Alright to guess, I'd say that the Illuminati believed something they wanted was hidden amongst Round Rocks' pile of trinkets. Rather than waste time sorting through them, they decided to take a lot. When they subsequently realized they didn't have what they were looking for, they crept back into town to wait for a chance, to seize whatever it was they actually wanted. What if bad gobbies want most favoritist treasure of Round Rocks? One that is safe with Uplanders. You mean the glowstone that Comor borrowed? But of course. It's been sitting in the decoding machine all along. Isn't that just like a normal thing that all the other goblins have? We needed it to decode their messages in the first place, so weren't they using like a similar thing to encode them, like, from their end? Yes. Round Rocks would be sad without pretty glowstone. It is special treasure from near Old Castle. Rusty one that was left by Uplanders from before. Wait, what do you mean before? Round Rocks, were you near the Charlian ruins when the metal giant first appeared? I guess it's the first time she's hearing of it. Yes. Round Rocks saw Worthycog giant stand 3 years ago, but was only for a little bit, and big gobbies do not believe Round Rocks. 3 years ago, when someone tried and failed to summon the Primal. That is more glowy than you led us to believe. A fragment of the Codex, of all the places in the realm. Only a fragment of the original? So that crystal must be the Illuminati's missing piece. Okay, wait, so... I see. Then yeah, it is just like the same thing that they have on their end to decode, I guess. It just means that they have the other fragments that they're using for encoding their messages on the link pearl, or something. How exactly did Wedge create the powder that identifies this thing? I guess it's similar to a different compound or different mineral or something that Wedge knows can be used to encode these things, but at the same time, they can be used for storing the codex. Like some of them are more special. Well, however it works, it's in our hands now. We may have stopped their primal and taken their prize, but our foes are not about to admit defeat. They'll be back, and out for blood, like as not. But we've got you, Komoi, and I'm sure you'll be ready for the onslaught when it comes. Might I suggest you make merry till then? That's our cue. Our cue to go do other things. Until 3.2. We're on the patch 3.0 quests or whatever right now. Once we get to the patch 3.2 storyline or whatever, I guess after we complete the main story there and maybe some dungeons or whatever, we can come back to this. That's the plan. We kind of did Bahamut all in one go last time, but that was because we had to solo it, due to the duty roulette, duty finder not really being helpful for those raids. But this one we can just do normal matchmaking, so we'll follow the release schedule of all the patches and all that. I'm glad Roundrocks has her treasure back. I only hope it doesn't place her in further danger. You wouldn't believe what some would do for just that small fragment. Fishcaw, Roundrocks is happy. Any friends worry. Think of Roundrocks. Uplander is one. Roundrocks, thanks kind Uplander. Let me chime in as well, Komoi. Roundrocks' home needed protection, and you provided it. Not many would do that, and certainly not in the face of a primal. You have my thanks also. Mide helped Roundrocks too. Uplanders have good hearts, and kind. Only so many of us find Machina pretty, my dear. We have to stick together, don't we? Did Mide always like worthy cogs and bitty bobs? Not like you, Roundrocks. My love. He adored the things. Inventing, building, and tinkering with them. Mide always touches hurt mark when remembering. More perceptive than I am. Do I? Well, I suppose I do. Those times were something else, little one. My friends and I, we were lost in our dream. We thought to put back the pieces of the broken world with logic, reason, and technology. And we were certain we could do it too. I hadn't much skill with thinking up things or making them, but I helped in my small way. When that feeling of aiding in someone else's dream, sharing it, washes over you like a wave of happiness, or like a downpour of rain. I've never felt that way since. Now, it all seems so far away. Even the memories feel like I dreamed them, rather than lived them. Well, enough of that. Roundrocks is right, adventurer. You're a kindly soul. Keep an eye on our girl until till next we meet, will you? I mean, we're not going to be babysitting. We got other things to do. But yeah, we'll pop in later. And this, of course, would be the next quest for 3.2. Just while Round Rocks isn't looking, let's get rid of this stuff. They're all nice bits and bobs, but I'm sure she'd hate to see us throwing this stuff away. We'll just say we're leaving them behind the house here for Round Rocks to find. I could trade these in over at Idleshire for, like, gear. But it's kind of a pain in the ass to do that. I can get way better gear just by trading in the regular tomestones over in Ishgard. Alright, raid tier done. Still got about 15 minutes left in the episode. What do I do with that 15 minutes? I don't actually have anything planned. Could always go side questing. The next thing that I had in my plan was to actually, well, begin the main quest with the patch 3.1 quest. I'll have to double check, but I don't think there was anything else I wanted to do in 3.0. Pretty sure we're done here. Like all this other stuff are dungeons from later patches. Actually, what about... Let's check over in Cortus. Not that one. Where could it be? Those are job quests, that's Hildebrand. This is the other raid. We'll do that in 3.1. Wasn't here. Where do you actually start this thing? Maybe... down here? If it's not here, I'll have to check on my phone, I guess. Maybe I'll actually start doing that while I'm teleporting in. So was there actually... What is this? Oh no, that's for... Well, we can do that now, I guess. The whispering winds bear tales of an adventurer's daring do unto mine insatiable ears. But one episode in particular whetted mine appetite. Did you perchance encounter a colossus of steam and steel in Dravania? That literally just happened. Were you listening in on our Link Pearl conversations? Ah, so it is true. Pray speak on then, friend. I would hear more of your trials and tribulations within the towering automaton. We fought 4 big robots. Well, I guess 3 robots and some water. A god born of goblin prayer. A citadel upon legs whose very life spelled death to all without. How marvelous. My muse stirs at the mention of such wonders, and moves me to song. Hearken now unto your own tale, brave hero. O friends far and near, I challenge you all to think of a marvel so strange or so tall, a steely skinned giant whose veins coursed with steam, in whose bright burnished bosom foul goblins did scheme. A heaven to they who therein did dwell, but one whose mere being made all else a hell. Forsooth, he could not well be left to abide, though into his huge hand a hero did stride, and battled through legions to reach his heart, conspiring at last to rend it apart. His core being no more, the giant fell still, though the goblins remained there to plot further ill. My muse has left me, but tell me true, did I capture the essence of your journey? Well, a poet must change one or two details for dramatic effect. A ballad should rouse its audience, not send them to sleep after all. Pray accept my humble verse into your heart. Songs give the listener fresh eyes to see, and mayhap mine own will allow you to look upon your deeds anew. Alright, and now we have that unlocked. Not that it matters. Wait, why are we... Oh, huh? Why is this still... Okay, wait, I see. I thought this was the quest for the tier 1 of the raids that I still hadn't finished. This is still the quest for unlocking the actual... What are they called? The extreme versions of this raid, or... Unreal version? I don't know what they're actually called. I think extreme applies to trials and then it's a different word for raids. Whatever it was. Savage, that's what it was. But yeah. Thought we unlocked it after we talked to that guy. Guess we're doing this. This is giving me time to look this up on my phone. And actually it is over here? In Idleshire. How'd I miss it? Wait. Where? Oh, over there. Red bricks, right, that guy. Pishkaw, Uplander wants to go inside. Is curiosity not sated? Red bricks will give guidance, but beware, that giant is still sleeping, not dead. And now we have the savage. Not that we're gonna do it. Okay, now back over here. I'm pretty sure I scanned over all the blue quests, but I must have mistook it for something else. Yep, that's the one. So just like a Realm Reborn, we have a set of quests for... Well, I'll let them explain. We're not really going to do this, so I'm just going to tack on the first few steps. Yeah, there's a familiar face. And an unfamiliar one. And of course Rowena is also a familiar one. Afternoon to you, Komoi. Something on your mind? I've been called back to Revenant's Toll to take care of a new shipment of wares. But if you've matters of money that require my attention... Hold that thought. It seems I have visitors. Some more welcome than others. Pardon the intrusion, Mistress Rowena. I realize I was here only a few days ago, but I really must speak with you about... Good, you're still here. We need to talk about that promissory note. Now I know what you're thinking. That stinking sack of Gobushite ain't got me God's damn money. Well, you're wrong. I saved it up. Every last skill. The thing is, me mates took me out for a drink to celebrate and... Excuse me, sir, but when people are talking, it is generally considered rude to interrupt. I know not what manner of business you have with Rowena, but I am quite sure it can wait. As I was saying, Mistress Rowena, have you perchance been able to arrange a meeting with your associates? There is much I would ask them about their work on arcane sentries. Hold on a bleeding minute. You are telling me to wait? Don't no one ever teach you to shut your gob when grown-ups are talking? My life and, more importantly, me note at the taverns at stake here. Now be a good lad and bugger off until Uncle Geralt had his say. Geralt, mind your own advice for once and keep quiet. I'll deal with you soon enough. Regarding your question, Ardashir, the answer is no. The client I had in mind's a bit of a recluse, and stubborn as hells in her old age. She wouldn't hear of any meeting, and I ain't got time to press her on it at the moment. Too much to do by half. Sounds like you've got enough on your plate without having to worry yourself over an old mate's onins. I tell you what, let's forget about it for... I know not what hole you have drunken yourself into, sir, and quite frankly, I do not care. I have important business to discuss with Mistress Rowena, and I demand you leave us be this instant. Bah, the youth of today, jumped up and self-serving little shites, the lot of you. Fine, tell us then, your highness. What's this business of yours? What's more important than a man's life, eh? Well, out with it. Very well, if only to explain myself to Rowena. Together with my master, I have been conducting research into the manipulation of spiritual and etheric energies in what you call the Near East. Our work has shown that the soul is in fact an agglomeration of a specific type of force. This force defines the quiddity of man and makes us who we are. Okay, we're getting into this now. While the soul is indeed inimitable, we believe it is possible to create a quasi-soul. Thus we turned our attention to anima, the self-same source which allows individuals to traverse the life stream via aetherites. By infusing a soul stone with the requisite quantities of ether, this force may be harnessed. Man, what a mouthful. Yet, after years of research and experimentation, we have naught to show for it, but inert husks of stone. We repeated this process again and again, adjusting every element, but the result was always the same. At length, my master declared the project a failure, and turned his thoughts to other matters. But I could not give up, not after witnessing the beauty of anima, not after coming so close, and that is why I have journeyed hither to Eorzea. I am certain that with the Sharlayan's knowledge of arcane sentries, I can complete my project. I am also certain that the resultant souls will be worth more to mankind than the ale-soaked dish clout that passes for yours. Finished, have you? Well then, allow me to retort. Seems to me you're a conquered little brat, as speaks a lot without saying aught. You talk like a man a-learning, when 'tis plain you're just a boy, what's never had a thought of his own, and couldn't even if he tried. Not that you ever would, of course. Then why? 'Cause the youth of today can't be bothered to do an ounce of honest work for themselves. No sense of duty. Things get rough, and you run for help, leaving a trail of piss in your wake. Do you reckon them scholarly folks from Sharlayan ever asked for the answer whenever they got stuck? Not bloody likely, 'cause they use their bloody brains. Tain't even that hard. If I saw these soul things burning out too quick, I'd think about sealing 'em inside something strong, like a weapon maybe, to keep all that life from escaping. It'd cost 'em a bit of freedom, but it'd keep 'em around for a damn sight longer than you managed. What's more, if the bloody things really are alive like you say, you'd end up with a weapon what could think for itself, which could be bloody lethal in the right hands. What'd you say to that, you preening little shite? An anima weapon? That is absolute genius. A means not only to preserve created anima, but to employ it. Anima weapons, eh? Aye. That'll sell. Quite an interesting proposition, Gerald. One that could be quite lucrative. Why not help poor Ardashir here with his work and see what you can make of it? Help that spineless streak of piss? You're joking, ain't you? Why in the seven hells would I play nursemaid to a watery-eyed brat like him? I was just spouting shite. I didn't really mean none of it. Is that right? Pity. Sounded like something we could have made a good bit of coin out of. Enough to make me forget your doubts, I guess not. Your debts that I won't be forgetting otherwise? Change your mind? Good. Listen, Ardashir. He may be a drunken bloody fool, but he's also the finest blacksmith in all the realm. If anyone can forge a weapon capable of holding your souls, it's him. And our adventurer friend here, my dear sweet Komoi, is a well-known hero around these parts. I'm sure she'd love nothing more than to try out your new weapon when it's finished. Ain't that right? Just think of it. You'd be the first in all of Eorzea to wield one of these animal weapons. Which ain't a bad name, now that I come to think of it. Anima weapon. Aye, that'll do. Yeah, I don't want to grind for it either. Now don't be so hasty, Komoi. This here is fate. What else could have brought the three of you to me at the self-same time, eh? And don't go telling me the thought of a weapon that learns and adapts to combat don't interest you, because we both know it does. Gerald, was it? Pray forgive me my rudeness earlier. If you truly are the smith she claims, I would be honored to have your assistance. And you, Komoi, I gather you are the perfect candidate to test the weapon once it's complete. Well, if this will get me square with Rowena, then I suppose me hammer's yours. But don't think I'm getting roped into this alone. If I have to forge it, you have to wield it. Thank you, both of you. I promise you will not regret this. Oh, trust me, I would, if I did it. Nice to see you're all getting on. Now you're going to need a place to work, and I know just the spot. As he saw, the seat of Allegan signs, floating on high over Appalachia's spine. Not that the equipment up there will be any use to you, mind. Only the 12 know how that stuff works. Still, it'll keep prying eyes away until the weapon's ready. I'll arrange for an airship to take you within the day. The fabled Aziz Law. I look forward to seeing you there, Komoi. Today has proven to be more productive than I thought. Gerald's out of my hair, and soon I'll have new merchandise for the House of Slumbers, assuming this ridiculous plan of his works. I'm counting on you, Komoi. Great. So we kind of abandoned the whole relic weapon quests back in A Realm Reborn when it got too grindy. We're kind of going to do the same here. Which is to say, I think I'm just going to abandon it once I accept the quest over here, or turn in this quest. We can actually do this. And actually this. Set the music back to 80. We come all this way, and we can't even use the goddamn equipment. Do you know how heavy this anvil is? Too bloody heavy. Should have given it to his lordship to carry. That would have been good for a laugh. The fabled Assy Slaw. I'd heard stories, but who would believe such a technological marvel could exist, and floating in the sky at that? If only my master could see me now. But this is not the time for gawping. Come, let us begin our work on the anima weapon. Yeah, anima weapons. There's some story to do here, obviously, with Ardashir completing his whole life's work, I guess. Unfortunately, we're not really going to see it, because I don't have the time to do all of this stuff. Same thing with all of the relic weapons that we kind of abandoned over here in this part of the world. Geralt is still over here, hammering away, waiting for us to do all of those relic things, but not going to do either of them. Sorry, Gomoy, but if it ain't about the anima weapon, I got no time for it. Same here, I have no time for the anima weapons. Having trouble saying that. Anima weapon. Trying to say too fast kind of makes me stumble. Anima weapon. Whatever. What I wouldn't give to be hammering out a nice kettle back in here smell. Right. The place we were just looking at. And this would be for the Black Mage. So if we were just to look at it, just to peek in, this would be the level 1 version of the weapon. And sure, it looks cool, but really it's the final version of the weapon that everyone's after. Because the final version of the anima weapons are kind of, well, they're still kind of top tier as far as weapon glamours go, even though it's like years old now. Job-specific quests are specific to a job. That's all. I take it you're ready to proceed. Excellent. Geralt has already begun work on the weapon that will serve to contain the anima. The difficulty lies in sustaining the thing long enough for the transfer to take place. But with the appropriate stabilizing materials, I believe it should be possible, provided we act quickly. I have brought several soul stones with me, so you needn't worry about that. I shall see that one is fitted into your weapon. The only needful things I do not currently possess are crystals capable of handling the quantities of ether required for our work. To be specific, we will require astral and umbral nodules. Would that we were working in Radzat Han. Put a pin in that. I knew of a merchant there who sold them. Costly though they were, I was never wanting for supplies. Perhaps Mistress Rowena would know of someone willing to trade? Might you be willing to speak with her on my behalf? No doubt whoever she refers you to will not part with them readily, but I trust you will be able to come to them, or come to some manner of arrangement. In the meantime, Geralt and I will finish preparations for the anima weapon. Safe travels, friend. So I guess we're going back to Mordona. Even though we just talked to Rowena at Revenant's Tool. And we're just going to continue this as long as it takes to find where the brick wall is. At least here in A Realm Reborn we were able to get the first weapon. I don't think we'll be able to do it here. We'll see. Well, if it isn't my favorite adventure, how's that anima weapon coming along? We need stuff. Astral and umbral nodules? Might be as Sindoni will have what you're after. She's a jeweler by trade, but her work with crystals is something to behold. Let me tell you. They say she can strip them of elements, chart them with new ones, and even make them out of thin air, if you believe such a thing. Can't vouch for the rumors myself, but her profits say plenty. She can be a bit picky about clients, but you being the warrior of light and all, I'm sure your sparkling reputation will catch her eye like the crystals she's so fond of. If you go upstairs, you'll find her out on the terrace. Okay, great. Oh, that was... well, that's fine. Ah, the warrior of light. What a pleasant surprise. What a pleasant surprise. No need to be alarmed, my dear. It is my business to know all of Eorzea's treasures, be they material or mortal. But tell me, to what do I owe the pleasure? We need nodules. Astral and umbral nodules? My. I see you are a woman of unusual tastes. Oops. Might I ask what you plan to do with such curious crystals? An essence akin to the soul. I suppose such peculiar work would call for crystals as equally peculiar. Well, you were wise to seek me out. I've dedicated my life to the study of crystals, and I cannot bear the thought of knowing there are crystals I could not procure. Mind you, these are no mere baubles or trinkets you ask of me. Crystals of such purity are not easily come by, but to also be so rich in astral and umbral aspected energies. Still, with the proper materials, I believe it can be done. It will require a great deal of ether, obviously, and of a specific persuasion. I am informed that when a man falls in battle, a residual energy hangs in the ether long after his spirit has returned to the life stream. This energy can infuse crystals in the vicinity, with a purity not often seen in nature, a purity essential for what you desire. I can use these crystals, luminous crystals I call them, to imbue empty ones with the astral and umbral energies necessary to create what you seek. But I will require one crystal of every element. They will not be easy to come by, of that I can assure you. You will likely have to scour every elm of Eorzea to find them. However, there may be one other way to acquire the ether we need. It requires something of the rarer sort, something much more precious than luminous crystals. As I mentioned before, it is my business to know all of Eorzea's treasures. And if the rumors are true, there exist certain weapons of legend said to have sucked on the souls of countless enemies. In fact, a certain great hero who wields one of these weapons is supposedly working with a young researcher somewhere beyond the Sea of Clouds. Right. Though this is only what I have heard, I will not hold you to ransom on the strength of mere hearsay. Even so, the rumors of these weapons are not so easily dismissed. Embodiments of war, veritable weapons or veritable reservoirs of soul energy. If you were in possession of such a weapon, creating these astral and umbral nodules would be as child's play. Or you could simply collect the requisite luminous crystals. I will assist you, all the same. I leave the choice in your famously capable hands. Right. So this is like a weird thing that only this relic weapon questline does. If you did the previous relic weapon questline up until the very end, did all of the grinding, You could turn in your weapon to skip this step. Otherwise you need to grind it out for like getting a bunch of crystals, like she said. As I explain here, players who possess a Zodiac weapon Zeta, the final version, may exchange it for both the Astral and Umbral nodules. Excalibur Zeta must be exchanged together with the Aegis Shield Zeta. Please note, however, that the Zodiac weapon Zeta will be lost upon completing the exchange. Alternatively, players may acquire the Astral and Umbral nodules in exchange for elementally aspected luminous crystals. These crystals may be obtained, albeit at a low probability, by participating in fates in certain areas. Wind can be found in Sea of Clouds, fire in Aziz's Law, lightning in Turning Mist, ice in Cortus Western Highlands, earth in Dravanian Forelands, water in Dravanian Hinterlands. And you'll get the Astral nodule for turning those in, and Umbral nodule for turning those in. And yeah, I guess you can get them from any fates at any level. We are not going to do that. Here is where our relic grind ends. I think I tried to do this step on my main character, and maybe managed to do it, but we are not going to waste time on that as Komori. But now we know like what the story looks like, right? Same thing that we did for the A Realm Reborn stuff. We kind of dipped our toes into this whole questline over here and found out what that whole story was like, with Geralt and all that. And now Geralt's back with this other guy, whose name I did not bother to remember. I guess he's from Radzat Han, which is kind of interesting, but we're not going to learn any more about that. Not on my character. It's too bad though. The animal weapons tend to be, at least on the very final level, very glowy, very splendorous, I guess. Doesn't matter. We'll run into Geralt again though, and hopefully he'll recognize us when we do. For now though, Komori is going to retire to her old spot, here in the Rising Stones. Right here, behind all these boxes. Luckily it seems like the Crystal Braves left it untouched. Next time, I think, unless there's something else from 6.0 that I'm going to have to do before I continue, we're going to take on the 6.1 patch quests. We can finally continue the main story. Before we do that though, now would be a good time to take a break.